Ladies and lovers, Andy here, author of the best Tinder. I can't be bothered doing the intro. This is the Kill You're Gonna Loser show. Let's fucking go. So, you look like a floating head.
I guess
I've just noticed.
I'm wearing red.
You're wearing red, the same. You're matching the background, and you're doing. You literally look like you're. Look at these titties.
Yeah, it's like a little love heart.
Yeah, I can't touch titties on YouTube, but I can. You guys can imagine I'm touching titties on YouTube. Is this actually allowed on YouTube? I don't know.
You're not monetizing it. That's for sure.
Anyway, we're going to give you guys a little cheat code. This will probably be a nice short podcast. And we're going to talk about something called love languages. Now, before all of you tune out and you're like, what is this? Like, homoerotic love language shit. That's girly shit. I'm giving you guys this because it's a cheat code for relationships. So, I'll whack these bad boys up. You've seen some boobies. You've seen me touch the boobies. And that's because I was giving you guys a little spoiler for the third one of the love languages, which is physical touch. So, if you don't know what love languages are, it's probably some gay thing that someone made up at some point.
As people do, everything is basically like a made-up concept. Don't get all
technological on me, but basically, yes, every concept has been invented. Congratulations, Imogen, you're very clever.
Sure, I'm just pointing out that your statement was redundant.
Don't use big words that I've taught you, like redundant.
You can teach me the word redundant.
Okay, so, get back on track, right? This has been derailed. Everybody's tuned out. This is a good podcast so far. Love languages are a cheat code. If you don't know what love languages are, it's basically a preference, is I think the easiest way of saying it, that people will have certain things that they appreciate more than other things. Mm-hmm. And love languages are a way of expressing your gratitude or your appreciation, or, as we're going to talk about here, kind of a cheat code for, or like an easy way to build a relationship, to add bricks in the foundation of your relationship. And so I'll blast through what they are. They're on the screen. So the first one is an act of service, which is just where you do nice shit for your partner. You know, whether in a relationship or even just like casual, like some of this stuff will still apply. So you do something, you know, you buy them a meal, you cook them a meal, you do something, like you actually physically do something, like a service. A gift is you buy them something, obviously. You can also make something that counts as a gift. Mm-hmm. Physical touch is like what I was doing before. I was like doing this shit on her boobies.
Yeah, and it says there like hugs, kisses,
holding hands. So they've put the gay stuff on there. They haven't put like fucking, like wrecking her pussy, destroying her like holes, like anal fucking blasting. They haven't put any of the actual real physical stuff. They put the cute stuff because this is probably, they're probably trying to monetize their videos or their articles. I'm not. So there's more physical touch, like blasting her, you know, like peeing on her, coming all over her face.
Is peeing like, physical touch?
Your pee is physically touching her, so yes, it's physical touch.
Is your pee you?
What else is it? A gift. It's a gift. It's a gift and it's an act of service. It's everything. Peeing on a girl. Okay, so, and it's quality time because she's enjoying it. And then you can say words of affirmation at the end. You can say like, good girl, letting me pee on you. So peeing is actually the most loving thing you can do. I've just realized this. Fuck, this got so derailed. Yeah, peeing. Guys. Today I learned. I was today years old when I learned peeing on a girl is all of these things combined. So, you know, physical touch. The next one is quality time, which is just spending time, like memories, doing shit with your partner. Like,
yeah. Obviously, like focused time, not just like being in each other's presence, but actually
doing
spending time together.
Even stuff like watching a movie can be, but it's not super quality. It's better if you focus on each other.
Sure.
Words of affirmation. And I'm going to do a separate podcast on words of affirmation. I might do it with you or I might do it by myself, but I have a concept in my head of like a relationship is infinitely better if you give praise and gratitude for both parties. Mm-hmm. Even casual sex. I've talked about this in the bedroom. Even just sex in the bedroom, if you're giving plenty of praise and saying like, good girl, good job, that feels good, like you're so fucking hot, you're so sexy, just saying whatever comes into your head, literally just looking at her body. And let's say she's got amazing tits. You literally just say, fuck, your tits are so amazing. Like, that's what I mean when I say praise. I don't mean you have to go above and beyond, but just saying whatever comes into your head, words of affirmation, that's probably my favorite one. But why are we bringing this shit up? Partly because I guess I wanted to tell you guys to pee on a girl. I actually didn't have that planned.
I'm aware you didn't have that planned.
But a big reason is because... And a lot of this will apply in a serious relationship, but it also applies, you know, to a lesser degree, but you can still use these cheat codes in a casual relationship. Yeah. And I keep saying they're cheat codes because that's what they fucking are. And so what you and I have done, and what I recommend all of you do when you're in a relationship. So let's say you've been dating for, you've been seeing each other for 6 months. And again, I drill this in. I don't recommend you upgrade to a relationship until it's been at least 6 months. Before that, just see each other casually. You can still get feelings. You can still fall in love and all of that. But don't upgrade it to a serious boyfriend-girlfriend relationship until 6 months at least. A year is even better, but 6 months at least. When you're at that point, or even a little bit before if you want to, you can basically say, hey, here's the fucking you can show her this. I mean, don't show her this video. You can if you want to. She'll probably get a kick out. She'll probably be like, oh, you know what? Peeing is a love language. I do want you to pee on me. I
feel like that's always one of the like kinks that people are hesitant to share.
Peeing. Every time I say like I like peeing on girls and having them pee on me, everyone's like, I've had actual clients go like, listen, Andy, like, I'm not into some of your kinks. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're your own person, and they're like, okay, but I just thought you'd be mad that like I don't want to tie a girl up or pee on her, and I'm like, bro, I don't care what you want to do it. But they almost feel like lesser or something. They're like, Andy, like I know that you like peeing on girls. I don't even like it that much.
Not that much.
It's just
we've only
meme,
done it a few times, and now you just like say it all the time.
I say it all the time. When was the last time we peed on a girl, or I peed on you, or you peed on me? It's been like
I guess like over 12 months.
We done it recently? Sure.
No, we haven't.
So I say it all the time, and then I'm not. So this is a very good example, guys, of where you want to walk the talk. You don't want to be a hypocrite as best you can. And so if you're going to talk a big game and be a big man and talk about peeing, you want to actually pee. So I'll tell you what, after this podcast, I will pee on you. Okay. Cool. Just so I can say it. Not that I actually feel like doing it, but just so I can say that I did it.
Given how much you mention it, people must think it's like...
They must think every time we have sex, I pee on girls or you. It's like, no, I don't. No. It's really hot, though. I really like it. We just don't do it. We're just busy. We're busy. We're busy with the other shit. Anyway, back on topic. So the point is you can have this discussion with a girl, show her these love languages, and you basically say like, yo, put them in order. Like roughly just tell me which ones you care about the most. She would tell you, bam, that is your shortcut to like intimacy. That's your shortcut to like even better sex. Honestly, we can talk about how it influences sex or how it impacts sex, because I know that's what a lot of you care about. You're horny as fuck. Especially now that I've talked about peeing. You're like, whoa, boy. I'm horny now. And so it also obviously, I think it goes without saying that it ties into a relationship.
Of course.
And I think most of the time when people talk about these love languages, they talk about it in the context of a relationship, but they're not thinking in the context of like casual sex.
Or even
sex
like,
and, like intimacy.
Different relationships, like parental relationships
or
like friendships can fall into all of these sort of things as well.
I honestly, guys, I'm giving you a fucking cheat code. So I'm not saying that you have to sit there and have this big long discussion with everyone about like what love languages do you look like, but you can even literally do this with your bros, like with your mates that you can just show them this and be like, look, guys, I know your mates are gonna say that it's gay, so you say, guys, I know it's gay. Maybe you just say it like this. You say like, bro, what do you care more about? Do you care when people like do shit for you? Like you can even frame it in the context of a male like camaraderie friendship. You can say like, bro, what means more to you when like your bros are there for you and they listen to you, or like when they do something for you, or when they get you something nice that you didn't fucking expect, when they buy you shit at the restaurant, when they shout you a beer or whatever? Or do you just like hanging out? Or do you like me to like reinforce you and push you and be like a positive voice in your life? Do you like me keeping you accountable with your goals? Do you want to push each other? Do you want to be accountability partners for each other? Like you have that kind of discussion, and they'll tell you which ones of those they like. Bam, that's love languages. You just haven't called it love languages.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. Like what this is, it essentially boils down to just communicating. What do I want you to give me? Like what feels good? What makes me feel good?
Yeah, and again,
talking about that
in a friendship, it's like, bro, you're basically saying, bro, how can I be the best friend? Like, how can I be a good mate to you? You can even say that, bro, I want to be a good mate to you. I'm trying to be like the best mate I can to all my friends. Like, I care about loyalty. It's super important to me. I want to build like a tribe. What do you need, bro? Like, what do you actually feel like you need? Do you feel like you just need like to hang out every now and then? Like, is that all you want, to just bounce ideas? One of my friends, that's all he wants from me. That's our friendship. Just like see him once a month or once every couple of months. I'm talking about, I suppose I can say it. No one will care. Chris.
Yep.
It's like he just wants to hang out every couple of months and just shoot the shit. Like that's what he needs. And maybe a little bit of like words about like reinforcing like, bro, yeah, no, I'll listen. I got your back, bro. Like, but what he wants more than anything is quality time, which is just hanging out. So you don't even have to phrase it. I wish these weren't called love languages. I wish these were called something like communication preferences, or like building a friendship or like, I don't know what you would call it.
But friendships involve, like, I love my friends. I
Yeah,
think
but
love
think
is a
for
very
lot of
loaded
men,
word.
They're not gonna. Yeah.
Okay.
So I wish there was a different phrase. Maybe I'll come up with a different one. But you're basically saying to your mates, bro, how can I be the best mate that you how can I be there for you, bro? Like, you'll be there for me, I'll be there for you. A lot of the time, words of affirmation is what they'll say, but they won't phrase it like that. They're not going to say, I want words of appreciation and verbal compliments. They won't say that. They'll be like, bro, I just want you to fucking listen. That's words of affirmation. It's also quality time, but it's words of affirmation.
Yeah.
And so,
like, or tell me that I'm doing a good job.
yeah,
or
bro,
like,
tell
that
me
I've
if
got
I'm
this.
if
like,
I'm fucking
I can
everything
handle
up.
it. Yeah.
Or if I'm doing a good job, just be like, bro, you got this. That's words of affirmation. That's words of affirmation. Like, half of my coaching is me literally just, if I was to I'm not going to, but if I was to pull up my coaching page right now and show it on screen, you'd see half of what I write is like, bro, you got this, dude. Like, just that. Half of what everyone else says is like, bro, you got this. And they're like, fuck, man, that's all I needed. I just needed you guys to tell me I can do this. You know, sometimes what I get my coaching clients to do is add each other on Discord. There's like a Discord group we have. And they will call each other when they're out there on the front lines. And I'll say, like, yo, when you go out to talk to girls, literally call the other guys in the group. Like, that's what the group is there for. Call them. Say, like, guys, I'm really struggling. I can't talk to this girl. What should I do? And the other people will be like, bro, you got this. That's like all they say. You can do this. And it's like, great. So this is a cheat code. We're giving you a cheat code for building a strong tribe of, like, loyal mates who'll have your back. Obviously, it applies in relationships. I think that goes without saying. And in a relationship, you could literally pull this graphic up. Just Google it. Just Google 5 love languages. And you can sit there and say, like, what do you care about? Like, you know, you and I have done this.
Yeah.
I've said I care about physical touch. I don't really care about gifts at all.
No.
Acts of service I care about. Quality time I really fucking care about. And affirmations I really, really care about. I care about physical touch and affirmation more than anything else. And affirmation being motivation. Like, you're giving me pep talks. You're telling me, like, you got this, honey. I admire you. You can do this. Like, you're going to have a great call today. And yours are
kind of all of them.
roughly, yeah, you like different ones to me.
Yeah, I obviously really prioritize, like, quality time. I think for both of us, words of affirmation are very important. Similarly with physical touch. Acts of service is less important, I think, to me than maybe.
I don't think you care when I do. Like, you care, you're grateful,
you?
but yeah, you don't sit there and jerk off when I do an act of service. But I care when you do, because you clean my apartment all the time, you cook me dinner all the time, and I really care about that shit. I think a lot of you guys do care about the acts of service. Like, you want your woman or a woman that you're dating to do shit for you. It's kind of the more feminine way of showing affection.
Yeah, definitely.
And the more masculine way of showing affection is like gifts. I think that comes up more.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that gives gifts, but anyway, the point that we're getting to is these are freaking cheat codes. Most of your missions, right? You're here, a lot of you are here to get laid a lot. And then when I dig deeper, especially those of you, my coaching clients, like, I have to dig deeper with clients. Like, I say, like, okay, what do you want? They say, I want to get laid. And I'm like, yeah, after that. Like, I'm not just here to get you fucking laid, man. I'm here to try and change your entire life. What do you want? What do you actually want? And they'll go, every single time, every single one of them goes, I want a relationship. I have not met a single person that says, I don't want a relationship. Now, some of them will say, I'm not ready for one, but I will want one in 10 years.
Yeah, I don't think
Everyone wants one.
I don't think I've ever met another human that doesn't want a relationship.
Yeah. Even if it's open, like you and I always sleep with other girls together. It's like a half open, because we only do it together, but like,
no one says I want to be single forever.
Yeah, or even the guys who are a bachelor, they say, I want to be able to sleep with infinite, like Caleb Jones is one of them, Black Dragon, and I have a couple of friends who are like this. One of my friends, the guy who lives in Brisbane right now. Yeah. He, actually, you might not know who I mean when I say that. The guy who's like the dark-skinned gentleman. He is someone who says, like, I don't know that I'll ever want to be monogamous, but I want he says, I want basically what you have with Emmy. I want a girl who's like my main, like my OG, my ride or die, like my main chick. And then maybe I also sleep with girls on the side. And like, I think that's what I want. So everyone does say, I want some sort of like partnership, whatever that looks like, whatever dynamic. And we're going to do a podcast at some point talking about different dynamics and options and possibilities. But everybody says they want a partner at some point. Open or monogamous, doesn't matter. And so the next logical step that I would assume most of you would take is, I would like to have the best relationship I possibly can. What does that mean? I want to build something freaking amazing with her or him, any of you females listening. 5% of my audience is female now. That has gone up.
That's a lot.
It used to be 1%.
Yeah. 5
It's
is
gone
a
up
lot.
a lot. Yeah, it keeps going up. Yeah. I think because I'm starting to do more relationship stuff and starting to bring women into the conversation. And like we're interviewing women, so I think we're, you know. Yeah, so those of you women, those of you men, whoever, I think most of you want the best relationship you can possibly have. No one, I think most people don't go, I want an okay, lots of average people do. Like the average person kind of does that. But I think most of you
given
listening,
the option, I think most people be like, I'm obviously going to want a better relationship.
Sure.
If you could get handed one or the other,
Yep.
people would say, of course I want the better relationship.
Yep. Yeah, and I think most of you listening are into self-improvement, or you're into the concept of like growing and becoming the best version of yourself and all of that. And so it should stand to reason in your mind that like, okay, I want to build the best relationship I can. That's what these fucking love languages are for. It's a shortcut. It's a cheat code to building. Like, oh my God. Like, so you will sit down with your partner and say, which one of these do you care most about? Rank them in order. And you'll do the same. And you share each other's lists and you remember them. And so having that means, okay, I can just randomly like stick it in your calendar, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, whatever you decide. I can do something from their love, like their main love language as a surprise. So if gifts is the most important thing for them, I'll make them something, or I'll write them a song, or I'll buy them something, or I'll take them out to lunch and buy them lunch. I'll buy them an adventure. I'll take them on an adventure. I'll give them some sort of gift, and I know that will mean a lot to them because they've told me that's the shit that means the most to them. I am like quickly figuring out, like I'm getting in that person's head and reading their mind and figuring out how can I cheat, like how can I short circuit, get straight to the thing that'll build the relationship the quickest. That's what we're trying to do here. Rather than flail around and do like, you know, I'll give them some nice words of affirmation, but they don't really care about that. They care more about physical touch. You're jumping straight to the thing that they really care about, and that it builds loyalty. Because they'll go, you took the time to remember this? Fuck, that's amazing. Thank you.
And I think part of the reason why this is important, or this could be a really helpful thing to discuss, is because a lot of the time this is a generalization, but we tend to give love languages based on what we like.
Yeah, we go, well, I like physical touch, so I'm going to give them that.
Yeah, and there's the chance that because that doesn't actually necessarily mean that much to the other person, they feel like you might not care that much about them.
Fuck yes.
And it's very easy to like just not have that conversation of like, actually, it means a lot to me when you do this. The other person might feel as if they're like wholeheartedly giving as much love as possible because they think, I love it when, like, I love physical touch. I love touching and intimacy, and that's so important to me. And I'm going to express how much I love you by giving you that all the time. And maybe the other person doesn't
register as much with them. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean as much.
And then they're just going to like feel a disconnect, like there isn't as much love, or maybe their needs aren't being met to the fullest potential.
Yeah, think of it like this, guys. Like most of what I give you guys is cheat codes. Like we're trying to be efficient here. We're trying to get you maxed out as quickly as we can without wasting time, right? Like that's what my channel is for. That's why I give self-improvement advice. That's why most people give you self-improvement advice, because they don't want to see you waste 3 years. I wasted so much time. You know, the first 2 relationships I had was like 8 years of just toxicity and abuse, and just we were both abusive to, like, each time I was abusive to them, they're abusive to me. It was like violent. It was just not nice, right? It wasn't good. And I'm trying to save you guys from that stuff. And so, not that I think most of you will be in an abusive, but so I've had some clients who do, and they're like, man, I'm really glad you told me that I could leave. Like, I'm trying to short circuit and give you guys cheat codes. And if we're trying to get to the point where the relationship is like you have loyalty from her and you have loyalty to her, you know, you've built intimacy, trust, like it's a solid freaking relationship. Do you want to wait 5 years before you have that, or would you like to have that in the first 2 years of the relationship or the first year? Bearing in mind the caveat I said of like don't upgrade it to a relationship after 6 months, but like there's no reason that you can't be building this shit during that. I'm just saying don't go all in and say that's a side tangent. But do you want to short circuit this shit? Do you want to get to the point where you're fucking close as hell and you're like, God damn it, I know this person is loyal. They're not going anywhere. We've built something amazing. We have a nice foundation now. Let's go to the moon. Like, let's build something epic together. Do you want that within a year, or would you like that within 5 years or 10 years? This is a short circuit to that. Like you said, what you're doing when you sit down and say which of these things mean the most to you, rank them in order, and then I'll know. And then when you put a calendar reminder in once a month to do something nice, or even just when they're sad, you go, okay, what will cheer them up? Right. Okay, they said physical touch is the thing they care the most about. Okay, I'll just give them a hug. Like when you remember, and you will remember, like when you remember which one of these is the most important to them in what order, you only really need to remember the top two. Like,
Yeah. What do they care the most about?
yeah, those are your cheat codes. Every time she's sad, that's what you use. Every time you're sitting there going, fuck, I want to build this relationship. I want a solid foundation. I want us to be each other's ride or die. I want us to push each other with goals, and I want her to be my cheerleader and I'll be hers. Maybe we want to have a family one day and be the best goddamn parents we can be. Build. That's what you're doing. You're trying to build. This is the quickest shortcut. What do I have to point? I have to point that. That, it's really hard to point when you're on screen. That is the quickest shortcut to building a solid foundation, like a really strong, tight relationship. If every single month or every single week or every day, like however often you want to do it, you do their love language or their top 2 or 3 love languages, they're like, God damn, like you know what's important to me. They use that as evidence of like, what, you give a shit about me. Every time I'm sad, you give me a hug, which I told you is what I need. You're basically saying, here's what I need. Or here's what I would like. It's not what you need. Here's what I would like.
Yeah.
Here's what would be a great bonus to the relationship. And you do the same. So you tell her, hey, listen, what means the most to me, sweetie? You know, and this is for most men, actually. Like I said, I appreciate when a woman does acts of service for me. I appreciate when you cook dinner. I appreciate when you clean my apartment. I've actively told you that. And then you've made an effort and gone, okay, well, I'll do it more. Like most women won't, guys, in the Western world especially, most women won't think to clean your apartment. I mean, fuck, even just that statement, I'm sure if there's feminists listening, they'll be like, oh my God, he said that a woman should clean his... No, I'm not saying she should.
It means something.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Most women won't even realize that that would mean something to you or that that's even an option. They're like, oh, but I thought all I could do was like physical sex and just give you a cuddle. I didn't even think I could make you dinner. I guess I never even thought of making you dinner. Would you like me to make you dinner? And you're like, yeah. So you have to actively tell the other person. Guys, again, this even counts for casual relationships. Plenty of my casual relationships, I would actively tell them, I would like you to cook for me. If you want to cook for me, I would really appreciate it. Like, have you ever cooked for a guy? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, it'd mean a lot if you cook for me. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool. Like, even casual relationships, we just slept together like 5 times. And I'm like, it'd be cool if you cooked me dinner. And they do. And they come over and they cook dinner. I'm like, this is really fucking amazing. Thank you. This is really cool. And they're like, holy shit, I didn't realize I could make you this happy. I didn't realize I could fulfill my, like, feminine, what would you call it? Like, potential. I didn't realize I could live up to my feminine potential and just make you feel like a man and I get to feel like a woman. Like, holy shit, this feels really good. And vice versa. You know, you ask her. You can just literally ask her, even casual relationships, like, yo, what means the most to you? You can get this fucking love language thing out and go like, what means the most? And maybe she goes, honestly, like words of affirmation. That just means the world to me. And you're like, huh, I guess I never thought of that. And then you sit there and you think, you know, you're a good person. Like, I really like spending time with you. And she's like, that just means so fucking much to me. It makes the sex better as well.
Of course.
This isn't just intimacy. This is sex.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is about, like, love and connection with another person. And when that improves, everything else, like...
But even short of love, I'm even talking just in a casual relationship.
Sure, you like the person more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you build something together. Even in your casual relationships, I assume most of you still want to be building. I said this in the Tinder guide, in the retention guide. I said probably the best thing you can do for keeping girls wanting to see you is like build something. Even if all you're building is like more sexual memories. We explore each other's sexual bucket lists. We do some crazy shit together in the bedroom. That's building. You're building something. You're building memories. And so building this shit, yeah, absolutely fucking helps. It's also a nice little surprise. Like I said, you can just put it in a serious... I do this more in a serious relationship. Although, no, you still do it in a casual one. I mean, again, guys, you can do whatever you want in a casual relationship. I hope I don't come across as saying, like, you have to do this in a casual. Do whatever the fuck you want. You can do this in a casual, where it's like you put it in your calendar. Once a month, I'm going to do something from her love language. Again, you could do this with your bros as well. You can literally put it in. Maybe you don't call it love languages with your bros, but you're like, once a month, you know, my bro has told me that what he wants to do is just hang out with me. Like, he just needs me to listen. He just needs to know that I've got his back. That's how guys will usually phrase it. They won't be like, I need you to spend quality time with me and give me undivided attention with exclusive time together. They won't say that, will they? If they say that, probably dump that bitch. Like, dump your friend if he says that. But I mean, I would respect a friend who was that honest with me. I'd be like, bro, that's fucking cool. Yeah, no, bro, I'll give you quality time. Let's do it. So, but most men will phrase it as like, and even most women won't say quality time. They'll say, I just like, you know, when we hang out. That's what most people will say. And so you go, okay, in my calendar, I care about this bro, or I care about, in a woman's case, I care about my friend. I want to do something nice for them because they've been there for me, and I like building strong. You're doing this for you. I hope all this is clear. Like, people use love languages as like, you're doing it for the other person. No. We're saying to be selfish. Do it because you want to build a relationship or you want to build a friendship.
Because at the end of the day, like, when I think, like, it feels nice for me to know that I'm making you feel good, or that I'm...
And friendships as well. Go back to friendships. It's like, it feels good knowing that you're being a solid friend. Like, you're doing that for you. You're doing that because you want to look yourself in the mirror and say, I was a good friend. I'm a good friend.
Yeah, it feels really, really nice to know that you're giving somebody what they want and what's going to make them feel really good.
Yeah, for sure. So you can stick it in your calendar as a reminder. Like, a notification will come up like once every 2 months and be like, all right, my bro really likes when we hang out. Have I hung out with him? Like, one of the guys in my coaching program, I won't say who, but like, he specifically said, I feel like, sometimes I don't hang out with my friends as much as I want to. I was like, bro, put it in your calendar. Put it in your calendar once a month. Have I hung out with this friend and this friend and this friend? If I haven't booked something, and be like, bro, let's grab a beer. And so he's been doing that. And he's like, wow, dude, that's a great suggestion. So shit like that, just stick it in your calendar once a month. Do whatever your bros need from you. And again, most of you guys want to do this because, like, you want to be the best friend you can be. Or a better way of phrasing that, what you can get out of that is, like, you get the confidence and the masculinity and the self-esteem. But more than anything, you get a solid tribe of friends who'll have your back because you've built that. I did a podcast, actually, I don't know if I've done it yet. I think I'm yet to sit down and record it, called Giving is Receiving. I'm talking about how if you just focus on the other person, like, you get that shit back. So if you want a solid tribe of friends, start with yourself. Like, you start building the tribe. You start being loyal to them. You start going through this love language shit. Again, you'll phrase it differently with your friends, with your mates. Even females will probably phrase it differently than this. But you say, like, bro, what can I do for you, dog? Like, what do you need? And then you give that to them. You set a calendar reminder, and they'll go like, fuck, man, you're so attentive. Like, I really appreciate that. One of my friends, I'll shout him out, Cam. You guys will know him as Radical. He's really good at just, like, checking in once a month. And he'll be like, hey, Andy, I know that your goal was XYZ. How are you going with that? And every time I'm like, bro, like, I really appreciate that you asked me that. Like, how did you even remember? I don't know if he's sticking calendar reminders. He might be. But he's really fucking attentive. And that really fucking means a lot. It's like, I'm going to be loyal to this motherfucker. So he wins too. That's the point. That's why I say when you give, you receive. He wins because I'm busy as fuck. But, like, every time he's like, bro, do you want to call? Like, can we call? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll make time for you. I won't make time for anyone else, but, like, I'll make time for you because you're loyal. So giving is receiving. This obviously applies to, like, all friends. It applies to family. It applies to casual sex and...
Yeah, and where it's used the most, like, proper relationships.
Yeah, again, I wish they wouldn't call it love languages. I wish they would call it... I mean, we can call it whatever we want. I gotta come up with a better name for it, but... Yeah, maybe we don't call it love languages. I'm probably not even going to call this video love languages. I'm going to call this something like the cheat code to building relationships and friendships or something. The cheat code to quickly building...
Connection?
Yeah, maybe the cheat code to quickly building connection, something like that. Yeah, that's a good title. Yeah, we'll call it that. But yeah, it's a cheat code, guys. We're giving you a goddamn cheat code. And love languages, or whatever you want to call them, is a super quick cheat code to getting to that point where it's like, okay, they're loyal. That's what you're going for. Like, it's the number one thing that guys tell me that they want from a woman, other than they'll say femininity. They'll say she has to be... They don't even usually say the attractive one. That usually comes third. Most guys will say femininity, and I want her to be sweet to me. I want loyalty, and I want her to be obviously attractive enough.
Yeah.
Which is funny that, like, lots of women have this idea that, like, men just want sex. It's like every single time I ask a guy what he wants from a woman, sex comes up like third or fourth. It's like femininity and loyalty. And guys, the way you get femininity is by you encouraging her. You say, hey, acts of service are important to me. That's femininity.
Yeah.
Do feminine stuff for me.
Having this conversation or bringing this sort of stuff up avoids that feeling of like you're being neglected, or like your needs aren't being met, or feeling
you're not getting because sometimes we feel like we're not getting what we want out of the other person. That's why I'm saying, just tell her. You don't even have to sit down and have a big conversation. Just be like, yo, it would mean a lot if you cooked for me sometimes. Or like, you can even just say, I really love when women cook for me. It'd be cool if you could do that. And then she would do it because, like, why wouldn't she? She wants to make you feel good. And then you go, yo, that was amazing. What do you want from me? What can I do for you? Like, literally, what do you want from me? And then she's like, I don't know, just like a cuddle. And you're like, yo, here's a cuddle. Like, it's a cheat code to build. It's like reciprocity. It's like giving is receiving. You do something nice for me, I do something nice for you. We keep that going back and forth. That's how you build a solid friendship. Guys, any of you who have a mate that you would take a bullet for and who would take a bullet for you, it's just because you did a bunch of shit for each other.
Of course.
Maybe sometimes you listened. Maybe he went through a tough time with you and had your back. Maybe he bought you something meaningful. Like one of your friends has bought you, I'm talking about the really short one, has bought you some really sweet shit.
Yeah.
Like that means a lot to you.
And,
she
like,
just bought you gifts and made you shit.
Yeah, made meaningful things.
Yeah. Maybe it's that your bro is like, it can even be fucking physical touch with your bro. Like maybe you guys play sport together. I guess that kind of counts as physical touch, sort of. Like some of you like to fucking, like wrestle with, like, you kind of like, you get what I'm saying. Like you fuck around with your mates and shit. It's not quite physical touch, is it? But like, it still feels nice when your bro fucking touches you. Here's a physical touch. When your bros give you just like a hug every time you see him, like a solid fucking hug, or shake your hand. One of my friends always shakes my hand every time I see him. That's physical touch. I like that. It's like, hey bro, we're connected. Like, what's up? But it's that you can sit there and say, what do you need? What do I need? We give that to each other. Bro, that's the shortcut to building a solid friendship. Or like, the person would take a bullet for you because you did a bunch of shit for them and they did a bunch of shit for you. So we're trying to shortcut and give you the cheat code for doing this with friendships, relationships, especially relationships. Goddamn, you can be at the point where you're as tight as if you've been together for 5 years. You can do that within a year or two if you do shit like this.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about loyalty, which is the thing that most of you say you want more than anything. I want loyalty. You build that. And this is the cheat code to building that. So you do that for her. She does that for you. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah, obviously, if you guys want coaching, I'll coach you. I like coaching. I'll do coaching with you.
Talk about how to get the most out of your relationships.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, this is something that I love coaching guys with, this kind of shit. I love jumping on calls and saying, like, what kind of partner do you want? And we kind of inadvertently end up talking about love languages, not quite in that, but they will say, I want a woman who cooks for me, which is like acts of service on this thing. They will say, I want a woman who's very affectionate. That's like physical touch. They'll say, I want a woman who's like very sweet and kind. That's words of affirmation. Or they'll say they want what you and I have, which is like a cheerleader. Like, you're my cheerleader. You absolutely like give me pep talks before every call. You will send me a really sweet, like nice little pep talk, which I really fucking appreciate. And that's like words of affirmation. And they'll say they want that. And I'm like, yeah, like here's the cheat code. Just tell her that you want that, or find a woman that will give you that. But most of the time, you just tell the person you want it. You say, hey, it'd mean a lot to me if you spent time with me. And then they're like, sweet, I like you, so I'll do that. Why wouldn't I do that? I like you.
Yeah.
So you can get this shit. You don't even have to screen for a woman who gives you this or a guy who gives you this. You just say, it would mean a lot to me, or I like it when people do this, or could you possibly do this for me? And then they'll do it because they want to.
Or I think Jordan Peterson says, like, he phrases this in a way that I quite like. It's like, you sometimes do need to treat like people in your relationships
as if
like,
they don't know.
I was gonna say like dogs. Like you just reward them for good behavior.
Oh,
and like
for sure.
Every
I've
time
trained you so much. I have trained you so much. Feminists are like currently cringing at that. But I've trained you so much to be like my perfect woman. Have I not?
I mean, yeah. And so every time somebody does something that you like, you praise them, encourage them, and say like, that was great. I appreciate that so much. I love that. Like, that was so nice. And obviously, like, the reward center is going to be like, oh, cool. Like, I just got praise.
I got dopamine because I did something that they like.
I'm going to do that again. That feels good. Like,
and it builds intimacy. It builds loyalty. And let's be clear. When I say I trained you, you wanted me to do that.
Yeah, of course. Like people are animals, and you will respond to praise and being rewarded for the things that you do.
Yeah, and you've done the same with me. I don't think you've done it consciously, but you've, like, I have grown in a way that I now give you what you want because of loyalty. Because you've given me everything I want, and I'm like, well, fuck, I want to give her what she wants. She's been fucking amazing. She's been my OG. She's been there since the beginning. She's my main girl. Like, you know, I'm going to do whatever I think she would benefit from. Like, I've said this to you so many times. How many times have I said to you, everything I do in our relationship, I do either for you or for us. And obviously I do a lot for myself, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, the intention of that statement, maybe it would be better phrased like this: there's nothing I do in the relationship that is at your detriment. Yeah. And if it was going to hurt you, I'm just like, all right, I'll find an alternative. I'll find a solution. Like, there's nothing I've done in the relationship in the last like 3 years. Maybe the first year wasn't like this. It wasn't, because we were casual. We didn't get serious until about 9 months in. But after like the last 3 years, yeah, everything I've done is like, if it's going to hurt you or it's not going to benefit you or it's not going to be at least neutral for you, all right, I'll find an alternative. And there's always alternatives. We're getting sidetracked here, but yeah, there's always other options. So yeah, this is obviously shit I'm passionate about. Guys, if you want coaching, like hit me up. I really love talking about this shit. I get really excited when someone goes, I want to get laid a lot. And then I'm like, yeah, but what do you actually want? And they go, okay, I want a relationship. And I'm like, bam. Let's fucking map that out. That's my favorite thing to do is like sit down with you guys.
It's like, it's the big shit. It's the stuff that's like really
shit you guys care
important
about,
that like at the end of the day, like if you want to get shit done in your life, that's going to be like, this is important. Like, this is big. This is
the important thing to me. Yeah. And that might not be relationships. For most of you it is. If it isn't, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to get into a relationship. I'm not going to tell you that you have to. And most of you or a lot of you aren't ready yet, but a lot are, or a lot at least benefit. And it's probably, if I can get one thing across with my coaching, it's that I think a lot of people see it as like, oh, it's just getting laid. Because that's what I've put out in the most. And that's why we're now doing relationship content, money-making content, mental health content, inner peace content, stoicism content, all of that. I'm branching out. And if I can get one thing across, it's like that's not what most of my coaching is these days. It's not. Even if you come to me and say, I want to get laid 10 times, I'm like, right, we're going to do that in the first 5 weeks. And then we're going to spend the last 7 weeks building your business. There are now 3 of my coaching clients at this point in time who all came to me saying, I just want to get laid. I just want pussy. All 3 of them, I've started, like they're now actually in the process of going like, okay, I think I know what business I want to start. And they said like, I won't be starting a business for like 5 or 10 years. And I was like, no, fuck that, bro. Like getting laid's easy. Right, I can get you laid in the next 2 weeks. And some of them, like they literally get laid immediately. And I'm like, right, see, I told you that wasn't that hard. You know how to get laid. You've used enough free content. You came to me because you want me to push you and you want me to give you an elite life. That's what we're here for. So let's do the other shit. Yeah, I'll get you laid. And they accidentally end up getting laid with just bits of push. But I really want to drill that in that, like, if you're sitting there going, I would really benefit from, like, business coaching, goddamn, like, I really love working with clients on that shit. Like, one guy, maybe you know who I'm talking about, like, quadrupled his earnings, hired a couple of VAs, like, hired 2 or 3 staff members, like, in the 12 weeks of working with me, we, like, exponentially boosted his business. Then a couple of other people. I've got, like, 4 people to hire, like, assistants. Like when I say VA, I mean a virtual assistant, like someone, a staff member. I've like pushed people like crazy with that. So if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I'd like to start a business, or I'm in a business, I'd like to earn more money, or I'd like to quit my job and I don't even know how, please fucking hit me up for coaching. Relationship shit as well. Even if you're in a relationship or you want one, please hit me up for that. Mental health, depression. Yeah, I'm branching out is the point that I'm making. So I'll leave a link in the description below. And what do these lovely boys and girls need to do? Let's get big. Let's get big. What do they need to do? Wait, how can I make you bigger? Before you, because you're going to do the outro, we need to make you as big as we can. Let's get you really big. Let's just get you huge.
Not wearing
women
makeup.
Love women. No. I know you're not wearing makeup and you're going to be so embarrassed because you got a pimple. There you go. You tell these audience what they need to do.
I'm so big.
You're so embarrassed. What do these people need to do?
Go out there and crush your goals.
No, I'm going to leave it on until you feel uncomfortable.
Well, then I'm just not going to feel uncomfortable. The way that this goes is that...
Look into the camera.
The way that this goes is that if I just don't react to Andy trying to provoke me, then it's not fun for him anymore.
I'm not trying to provoke you. I'm just trying to make you feel embarrassed.
Sure, I would call that provoking.
All right, guys, go and crush your goals. She won. Fine, you won. Your stubbornness outdid me. You happy? Where's me? I want to be big for a second. Go out there and crush your goals, you beautiful human beings.